Good morning, everyone. So I'm going to give it a second to load up and catch up. Saying live my side. Hopefully you guys are now seeing it. Let's give it one moment to catch up with what we're doing here. Okay, I can see everything from my end now. So hopefully you guys can see me and hear me quite clearly. So if you can hear me, guys, if you could just give me a little thumbs up, that'd be really helpful. I should be able to see that on my side as well. And I do believe that we are live. Okay, let's give it one more minute, a couple of minutes to let people come in. We're streaming this live to LinkedIn today. It's also going out on Facebook and YouTube as well. So I want to make sure that the volume is nice and clear and people can hear me. We have got a lot of stuff to cover today. This is going to be, it's kind of a new version of the presentation. It's got loads of new data in it, loads of new information. And yeah, if you want to treat this as kind of like a value-driven coaching call, I think that would be the best way to look at it, because there's definitely lots of notes to be taken. There are lots of kind of real good tidbits that you can take away and actually implement this into your life right now. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to rip straight into this because, I'm aware that, people are busy and this is a Friday morning. So I'm sure that there's plenty of stuff that we want to be getting on with. So let's get into this today then. So here's a quick insight into, the team, and this is myself as well. So if you don't know me, if you've not seen me on LinkedIn, if you've not seen me, sharing lots of information around executive health, then here's a quick introduction. So my name's Cameron Harris. I'm a personal trainer. I'm a managing director of Truth Fitness as well. And for the last 21 years, I've been delivering health transformations to business owners and senior executives globally. On top of that, I've been featured in lots of different press, from GQ magazine to the iPaper to the Telegraph. I've also spoken at a number of universities around sport, health and exercise science, and also specifically around health transformations for executives. I've also a career mentor at OpRed, which is a global career and recruitment advisory. And on top of that, I am a career mentor to some personal kind of friends as well, people that are trying to break into the industry. And essentially what I do in a nutshell is help my clients to feel lighter, healthier, more energized, and a lot more positive around their personal longevity and also around business performance as well. So we sit at a kind of a real juncture in personal health and personal business goals. So for a long time, we're banging the drum around, the necessity for business owners and executives to be looking after their health for obvious reasons, right? Now, there's been a real shift. There's been a shift around the way business operates, especially in the last couple of years. You've had things like AI, obviously, we all know about that. AI has now taken the role it has now in business and our personal lives as well. So that's created huge amounts of disruption around how businesses operate. What it's done is it's created pressure on the business owners, on the executives to learn AI. It's also put pressure on the business and the owners and the executives to streamline operations. And it's also put pressure on the teams because it's created a whole lot of disruption within businesses. Now, the days of us kind of looking up to, Philip Greens of the world as our kind of, executive role models, our business owner role models, cigar smoking, overweight, not looking after themselves, no priority around health, they're now gone. People like Jeff Bezos, real advocates of health and fitness, real advocates of good sleep, real advocates of, good training and good supplementation as well. And if you want to compete on the global scale and compete where we are as a business community globally, then looking after your mental and physical health are now a non-negotiable. You can't be taking this lightly. Things are changing very, very rapidly. And unfortunately, if you don't look after yourself, then you're going to get left behind. So I'm just going to come off this a second. There's tons and tons of research that's coming out. In fact, in the last 2 years, the amount of research that's come out around executive health, around the benefits of executive health, around the kind of drawbacks of not looking after your health as an executive or business owner, is really started to ramp up. There's been a real change. And the reason that is because culturally, there is a shift coming. It's already here, right? Just to give you a couple of examples, I don't want to, overwhelm you, but a Financial Times study has found that nearly 66% of CEOs, they admit to feeling burnt out more regularly. Almost 25% of them experience it daily. There's also a peer-reviewed study that's come out, which has said that 1,600 CEOs that they interviewed during high stress events, they've actually increased their mortality rate by 15%, essentially shortening life expectancy by 1.2 to 1.5 years. So there's a real issue here. This is not about looking good on the beach. This is not about, having a six pack or having biceps. This is more important. This is around being around. This is around being around for your grandkids and the longevity. This is around being competitive within your industry. This is around staying at the top. This is about feeling good in yourself, because the way business has gone and the way business is going, it's going to become more competitive. It's going to become more intense, and it's going to become more disrupted. So having controlling the controllables, i.e. controlling your personal health and fitness goals, controlling your mind, controlling the workouts you're doing, controlling your sleep, these were massive, massive, massive things that are going to have a big impact on you and your personal health going forward. So what have you struggled with? Have you struggled with work stress? Have you struggled with alcohol as a stress reliever for that stress? Have you struggled with family stress, with financial stress, with AI stress? Have you used alcohol to relieve any of those stress markers? Have you struggled with crazy hours? Have you struggled with crippling travel? Is there worries in your mind about early death? Is there a constant unmanageable to-do list? Is health not been a priority for a long, long time? Is your self-esteem in the gutter? If any of these are resonating with you right now as the person that's watching this, then the information I'm going to give you today is extremely helpful, and it will impact the way that you look at your personal health and fitness goals, not just from personal side of things, but as a culture, as a business as well. If you're struggling with this as the senior executive or the owner, how many of your team are having exactly the same problems, right? So one of the big issues that I find, and one of the big issues that I observe, speaking to lots of different executives, I'd estimate that I speak to over 100 executives and business owners every single year. One of the biggest issues that comes up is that they're not too sure how to differentiate between information that is valuable to them and information that is not valuable to them. So I'll give you an example. Eat less and move more. It's very generic advice, but we hear it everywhere. It's plastered on email lists, it's plastered on LinkedIn, it's plastered on social media across the board. And I get it. It's information that's probably valuable and it makes some sense. But if you're an executive or a business owner, someone that's got no time, someone that's always traveling, someone that hasn't got a moment's breathing space to actually, understand what it is that is going to have a positive impact on your health and how to fit it into your life, it's completely useless. So there's so much information out there, but most of it, in my opinion, is completely irrelevant to the business owner and the C-suite executive. So essentially what ends up happening is the information becomes overwhelming, and one or two things happen. Either it's we're kind of analysis by paralysis type situation where there's just too much, so we just stop, or we follow the wrong route and we go down the path of doing something that's just too generic and won't actually help us to get to where we need to be. So over the last 15, 20 years of being within the industry, I've come up with, and my team have come up with, this really simple acronym, which we've used with over 400 business leader and executive clients of ours. And that is the acronym SHEFS. So very simply, it's sleep, it's habits, it's exercise, it's food, and it's steps. Very, very simple. Now, these are 5 steps that every single executive, every single business owner we've worked with has taken literally step by step. So get your pens ready, because we're going to go through every single step to help you understand exactly how you can implement this into your life and go from where you are, which probably, if you're on this call today, on this workshop today, you're probably feeling quite frustrated. You're probably in a position where, you're not feeling that great about, your inability to get stuff done, or your inability to overcome that inertia and actually start to, get the positive benefits of positive nutrition and positive health and exercise that you really, really want. So let's take a closer look into habits. So, we've just mixed this up a little bit because I want to do this in like the simplest order for you guys to actually look at, and for you guys to take the information and use it in the best chronological order. So for me, I think the most valuable place to start would be habits. Now, the great thing about habits is that when you start to optimize them, when you start to actually assess them and look at what's going on with your habits, it doesn't actually take you any more time to make a change with your daily habits. Okay. So one of the big issues that I hear all the time, and one of the things that I often hear executives and business owners saying, is I haven't got any time. Well, looking at your habits won't actually take any more time. It won't require you to take more time out of your day. It would just require you to sit down and actually assess what you're doing. So very quickly, the first step of this is to assess exactly what's going on with your bad habits. So are you struggling to get steps in? Are you struggling to not have too many snacks? Are you struggling with daily alcohol intake? Are you struggling with too much coffee and caffeine, especially in the afternoons? Are you struggling with having sweets when you're stressed? Whatever it might be, right? So that when you start this process, you want to make a full list of all the habits you have. Now, I would start with the bad habits, like the ones I just mentioned. For example, in the morning, I get up late, I'm always rushing around, and I jump on the train late. And on the other side, I grab a quick coffee and have a croissant because I'm always running late. And then what I do is I jump in a cab rather than walk into the office. So that for me is a really bad habit. That what you're doing is you're getting up late, which is the cause. It's the kind of root cause of the next part that happens, which is the running around, having the bad snacks, having too much sugar. So how we would fix that is take that bad habit of always hitting snooze, okay? And we'd flip it into do not hit snooze. And once you've done that every day, you start to tick it off as a daily habits list. So what I recommend is taking the top 3 to 4 of those habits from that bad habit list and flip them into positives. So for example, I always hit snooze and I get up late, which then has this cascading effect, which then messes up my morning. Okay, well, let's not hit snooze anymore. So tick it off, didn't hit snooze. Perfect, high five, smashed it. Second one might be, I really struggle to get 3,000 steps in, or 4,000 steps in, or 5,000 steps in. Okay, and I've set this goal and I keep failing with it. Okay, let's flip it. Get 5,000 steps into the diary. Tick when it's done. So what starts to happen is you take the negative habits, which are having negative implications, a negative effect on your body, on your mind, on your health, on the way you feel, your longevity, all the stuff we spoke about a little bit earlier, and flip those. And what starts to happen is you start to build up a positivity around the things you're doing positively. Okay. Once you've implemented that for the first 5 days, the next 5 days becomes a lot easier. Now, if you miss one, if you skip one because shit hits the fan and you get busy at work, that's cool. Okay. But the next day you go back to your list and you tick it off daily, you get back on it. The clients that get the very best results with us when we check in with them are the ones who go into their calendar, into their application, and every single thing is ticked off. The monotony, the repeatability of doing the same thing over and over again, embrace it, enjoy it, get yourself into that mindset, because the journey, the physical doing it every single day is the difference between where you are right now and where you want to be. Trust me. Okay, so let's have a closer look at training. So when it comes to training, when it comes to exercise, there are 1,000,001 different opinions on what you should be doing and how you should be doing it. So what I want to do today is to give you the simplest path to looking at where you are right now and what you should be doing better and how you can improve what you're doing. So really need to start with assessing your current training program. Okay, are you actually getting in the diary? Are you actually making the sessions happen in the gym? Are they flexible enough? Can they bend and flow and ebb with your diary? You know, for example, if you struggle to get your workouts in at 6 a.m., can you find a spot in the day where you can get to the gym or get those workouts in? Is it time efficient? Are you getting the most bang for your buck every time you work out? Good questions, right? So when you start to answer these questions, if you're missing sessions, if you're not making it happen, if you're not getting physical changes and the mental changes that you want, probably you need to build out a new program. Now, I haven't got the bandwidth or the time here to build you out a hyper personalized program. We can obviously help you with that, of course, but you need to understand that unless the program that you have is hyper personalized to you, to your diary, to your situations, your injuries, to your energy levels, to your exercise history, you're going to fall off the wagon very, very quickly. Now, one of the biggest traps, one of the biggest issues I find with people that build out the new programs or do something that's very self-sufficient, they'll go to running. They'll say, right, let's do couch to 5K. Let's do a kind of a small running program. I start to do some hill sprints, start to do some longer runs. It makes total sense, right? Because it's free, it's time efficient, so you can kind of do it whenever you want. You know, wind, rain, or snow or shine, you can still go running. Really, it only requires minimal equipment. And it doesn't require you to learn anything. So I totally get it. The big problem with running, and I say this from experience and seeing this many, many, many times, is that the risk and reward factors with running, the risk is really high and the reward is really low, especially if you're overweight and out of shape. And what generally happens is you start running, the impact into your knees, into your hips, into your back starts to create inflammation. Your knees start to expand and start to throb. Your back starts to cause problems because you haven't got the back stability and the strength. And the number one biggest issue that we see with people that start running that aren't ready for running is either falling over or creating a compound injury where they're hitting those knee joints, hitting the hip joints, and starting to get pain. So trust me when I say that running is not the best option, especially if you're down the lower scale of exercise history and the lower scale of actually being in a position where you should be doing it. You need to start with big muscle movements. Across the board, really, we always focus on strength training. Okay, so lifting stuff that is heavy. The benefits the science tells us are second to none, whether it's about heart health, VO2 max and lung health, joint strength, posture, stability, longevity, health, happiness, hormones. The benefits of strength training are upward and above of anything else that you can do. Yes, cardiovascular exercise is really important too. But if you want to start somewhere, if you want to get stronger, if you want to get leaner, if you want to feel better in yourself, you're going to have to learn how to strength train. Now, most people don't like hearing that because cardio is easy. You don't need to learn anything. But if you're serious about becoming, you know, this healthy business leader we speak about, the person that is running a company, they're feeling strong, energized, confident, they're an inspiration to their team, you're going to have to learn how to strength train. So just before we get into nutrition, now nutrition is a massive, massive subject. And again, I've only got kind of half an hour, 35 minutes to get into this and really start to give you, you know, the most impactful information. Now, nutrition is a really hotly contested subject. The way I describe this is that the people within the industry, people like myself, people like my nutritionists that work for me, they have different opinions to the majority. And within that majority, there's different opinions in there as well. So what I'm trying to get through and get across, and I hope it's coming across, is the fact that you need to kind of choose a methodology that works for you. And potentially what I'm going to tell you today will work for you. We've seen this work hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times with busy, stressed out, time poor executives. So if you are ticking any of this off, it might be worth you taking some notes and being conscious that probably this will be a good option for you. So let's get back into this then. So when it comes to nutrition, right, one of the big issues that we see, make sure I can still see you guys. Cool, making sure you can still see me. But one of the big issues that we see around nutrition is that people often, especially in the UK, overeat on sugar. There's too much carbohydrate in the diet. There's too much sugar in the diet. Now that's contrary to every single thing that we have told through the press. The press has told us that we overeat on protein, that we should all be vegans. I call bullshit on that. I call bullshit. I speak to hundreds and hundreds of people. I've been doing this for 21 years. And I'm telling you now, people in the UK generally overeat on sugar and overeat on carbohydrate and don't eat enough protein and don't eat enough healthy fat. So give an example: breakfast cereal in the morning, breakfast bars, biscuits with tea, sandwiches, croissants, pastries, rice, pasta, potatoes, sweets, sugar, beer. You know, us as a culture, especially in the UK, carbohydrates and sugar are absolutely everywhere. So don't buy into the fact that we shouldn't eat protein. It's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. Now, of course, we haven't got tons of time, but always go for the best quality protein you can. Always go for the best quality fats that you can. And if you are going to eat carbohydrates, always go for the best quality. Okay. So what we're talking about today is how to optimize your health, how to make you feel more virile and energized. Okay. So 3 issues we see is not enough protein in the diet, not enough healthy fats, and eating way too much sugar. So simple ways, when you start to actually address this, you start to recover better from training. You start to improve your strength as well. You also you don't feel hungry anymore, and you stop overeating. The problem you've got with eating sugar and carbohydrates and starchy carbs and sugars and sweets and all this kind of stuff is you eat them and you don't feel full. If you eat a meal which is like a ribeye steak with some green vegetables, trust me, you will be full. There's no two ways about it. So what actually happens is you stop overeating because you're eating properly. Okay. What also happens is start to reduce inflammation. So joint pain, bloating, less aches and pains as well. So there's a very simple diagram here. Now, there's something called the Randall cycle, which is a physiological biochemical system within the body. Now, what happens is when you eat glucose, sugar, and fats together, and you can see some examples here, you know, donuts, pizzas, toast and butter, you know, McDonald's, all this kind of stuff, ultra processed as well. What starts to happen is it starts to compete within your body, within the way that your body processes fat. So what actually starts to happen is your body stops burning fat as optimally as it should. So if your goal is fat loss and you are eating lots of ultra processed, high fat, high sugar products, you're really going to struggle to drop fat. Now, of course, there's a conversation to be had around calorie deficits and eating less energy. But trust me, if you eat properly the way we've described, you will stop overeating naturally anyway. Okay, so very quickly then, guys, there's a really upfront offer that I want to make to you guys. We have been running this rapid results system, which is our 60-week system for over 400 business leaders. We've been doing it internationally for 8 years now as a company. My team has over 50 years of combined experience. We've featured in GQ magazine about this. We've got a double page spread coming out in Telegraph in January. And we only really work with 6 clients every month. We have a small team. We focus on one-to-one, hyper-personalized programs. So we don't deal with the masses. Now, I'd like to offer you guys a diagnostic call. Now, it's called a diagnostic call because we don't work with everybody. We're not sure if we can even help you. So if you want to grab one of those diagnostic calls, pull your phone out and you can scan the QR code, which will bring up our diagnostic call booking form. Again, we've only got a small team. We have a restricted number of those calls, restricted number of clients we look after. And, you know, we're really very, very good at what we do. So grab one of those diagnostic calls. It's not a sales call. It's value driven. You're going to go away with lots of value around key areas that you should be working on. So I'll leave that for the next 10 seconds for you to grab. If you are struggling with that, I'll ping this link into the comments a little bit later. Or if you want to DM me as well, DM me at Cameron Harris on my LinkedIn. I'll make sure that gets shared with you as well. So back into the information. So again, with nutrition, I would say very quickly that if you're looking to lose weight, if you're looking to improve your focus and your energy and your productivity to work, if you're looking for longevity and you want to become healthier, this is a really quick way to gain that momentum around weight loss and fat loss and all the things you've mentioned. Now, there's lots of ways to do this. Slowly catch your monkey. In my experience, and been doing this for a long time, when you follow a protocol which helps you to gain momentum really fast, what actually happens is you start to build that momentum at the front end of the program. You lose weight quickly, your energy jumps up, your sleep improves, you start to feel more self-esteem. And what happens naturally, it makes the second part of that process a lot easier. Lots and lots of products out there, lots of systems out there, lots of coaches out there will get you into a program where it's all about elongating those results, keeping you slow and steady, slow and steady, slow and steady. What happens in my experience is that you get pissed off, you get frustrated with the speed of those results. So the nutrition we're advising for you today is about increasing the speed of those results that you get, so that you overcome that inertia and actually start to get the long-term results that you want. It's completely different to how most people talk about nutrition within my industry. So very, very important, start to reduce the sugar in your diet. Now, business owners, executives, entrepreneurs often ask me, what is the quickest thing that I can do to start to look and feel change in my body and my mindset and my productivity, everything like that? Two things. One is reduce alcohol. Most people in the UK drink too much, whether it's 4 times a week, 3 times a week, twice a week. Most people drink too much alcohol. Okay. The second part is eat too much sugar. They're on this sugar wave all the time, up and down with energy, up and down with energy. And they start to supplement that with caffeine as well. And it messes their sleep up, messes their energy up, messes their focus up. So here's 3 key points for you. Reduce sugar, reduce alcohol, start to eat the right amount of protein. Now, really kind of simple way of doing this. I'm not going to give you weights and measurements and pounds and kilos of what you should be eating. As long as you're having 3 portions of animal protein per day, you're probably covered. So 4 to 5 eggs in the morning, okay? A large chicken breast or a large steak, a large piece of fish. That's going to cover you generally across your protein needs. If you're just having a bowl of pasta and you're just having toast and you're just having a croissant as your food intake, you are not having enough protein. You're going to really struggle to stave off hunger. You're going to really struggle to stay full. You're going to really struggle to build the muscle and get lean like you actually want to. Okay. And also a nice tip for you that works is to keep your meal times as regular as possible. The body, the mind loves regularities, where a lot of people slip up. They get too bogged down with quick fixes, hacks, biohacks, making things fun and reliable and varied, and it just doesn't give the results you want. If you look at all people that are in great shape, they have some form of repeatability in their diet, whether it's 4 workouts a week at the same time, always having breakfast after, always having lunch at a certain time. There's some form of repeatability that gets them to where they want to be. Now, sleep. This is probably the most important fundamental of everything that I'm going to talk about today. Okay. So when it comes to sleep, it is the foundation of everything that we're trying to build here. Okay. If you're not sleeping around 7 hours a night, you are slowly killing yourself. If you're not sleeping 7 hours plus every night, you're reducing your productivity by about 32%. If you're chronically undersleeping, you are making your mental health more likely to struggle in the near and the long term as well. So in the near and the long term future, sleep is extremely, extremely important. A couple of questions for you. Are you falling asleep easily? Are you able to stay asleep? Are you able to wake up with no alarm? Do you need coffee all the time? If you're answering yes to those, then probably your sleep isn't where it needs to be. Okay. Start to look at your sleep hygiene. Start to think about getting in bed 60 minutes before you actually want to go to sleep. Start to think about blackout blinds. Start to think about reading. The number one biggest issue that I see with entrepreneurs and executives is they're using their phones and doing emails in bed. That blue light is literally like cocaine. It's keeping your brain awake. It's keeping you awake. So you actually don't get into sleep very well and you have this broken sleep. I would say 9 out of the 10 executives that I talk to, week in, week out, have poor sleep. Okay. Quick story for you. My dad suffered with vascular dementia for 15 years. I also have a very close friend of mine who struggles with bipolar. And both of these people, and obviously there's other factors here, right? But I've studied this in depth. They are both people that have worked on market stalls and had businesses that are extremely early mornings and have had chronic poor sleep for years and years and years. And I've seen it firsthand where people's mental health, their capacity to think and make decisions and remember has been severely impacted by chronic poor sleep. So when you hear people talking about the way that they can survive on 5 hours and they've done 4 hours, had 4 hours sleep for the last 20 years, it's just not cool anymore. It's not impressive. It is detrimental to your health. And we need to start really wising up to the fact that if we aren't getting enough sleep, not only are we affecting our day-to-day, we're probably affecting our long-term outlook when it comes to physical and mental health. So I hope that's put a real strong point on the fact that you need to focus on sleep. I focus on sleep. My team focuses on sleep. My family focuses on sleep because I know that it's really, really important. Okay. So a couple of little bonus tips for you as well. If you're having caffeine after 2 p.m., 12 p.m. ideally, you're going to be, affecting your sleep. Okay, so caffeine has a 13-hour half-life, which means when it gets into your bloodstream, it will stay there for around 13 hours. Some people are really sensitive to caffeine. Some people aren't sensitive at all. My advice is that if you're struggling with your sleep, push your caffeine into the morning and stop by midday, 2 p.m. at the latest. It sounds simple, but oftentimes if people are struggling with their sleep, there's simple answers to the problem. Okay, things like magnesium supplementation are absolute gold dust. They really, really help, and they're cheap as chips. If you're struggling to find a good quality one, give me a shout. Happy to help you with that as well. Things like Tulsi tea, things like lemon balm as well are good for relaxing the mind as well. And I think, if you are struggling to get the results you want, if you're struggling to get started, if you're struggling to, implement any of the stuff that I've spoken about, and you just can't get out of that rut, I'd probably start with sleep. If you can improve your sleep by 10%, the chances of you actually getting the results that you want are probably tenfold, because it would just change your outlook. It'll make you feel more positive. It'll help you to find the time. It will just revolutionize everything you're trying to do. Hope that comes across as quite an important one. Okay, so when it comes to steps, so movement, steps, the kind of scientific term for this is NEAT, which is non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which essentially means all of the movement that you do, which is not inside of your workout. So, if you look at me, I'm quite animated. This is all movement. This is NEAT, right? So some people are very kind of active. You always met that person that's kind of like always moving when you're talking and always really active. They're NEAT. The amount of movement, the amount of energy they're burning without exercise is going to be a lot higher than someone's that's more, replicating a sloth, right? Someone that's just slow and doesn't move very fast and likes to sit and doesn't move fast between things and talks really slowly, their NEAT is going to be a little lower. Now, there is a kind of more advanced version of this, which I won't go into right now. But essentially, the more you move outside of your workouts, steps being the simplest one to monitor, because we've got things like Apple Watches, we've got things like our phones now that track all this stuff. Steps is something that is a real simple marker to follow. Now, what it means is that your moving outside of your workouts, which means your energy expenditure goes up. It means that your heart rate increases slightly. It means it gets your heart working, gets your lungs working a little bit, especially if you do stuff where it's more hillified. And that will have a positive impact on your body fat, have a positive impact on your mental health, it have a positive impact on your heart and your lungs as well. So I think the way that really helps me to think about movement and steps outside of my sessions is to use it as not only a tool to move, but also as a tool to clear this bad boy. Okay, if I've got a problem, something I'm really worried about, something I can't find the answer to, if I get out and do a walk, say, hey guys, I'm off 15, 20 minutes, it clears my head and gives you all of the benefits I just spoken about. And on top of that, it's given me movement, it's given me steps to add into my program. So everyone talks about 10,000 steps as being the gold standard. It's kind of a made up number. But I'd say if you're working in an office, if you're in a sedentary job where you're kind of doing lots of face-to-face meetings, lots of stuff where you're stuck on Zoom, 7,000 is going to be really where you want to be at. 10,000 is more for people that are kind of active, people that have got a role where they're moving around a lot more. If you're sitting in an office all day, you're probably going to struggle to hit that 10,000 steps. Now, a little trick or tip for you as well. If you set a 10,000 step a day or 7,000 steps per day or 5,000 steps per day goal for yourself, and you've put it into your watch, you put it into your own program, then if you're struggling to do that in the week, use the weekend as a buffer to increase. So let's say you get to Saturday morning and you haven't got 20,000 to do over the week and you've got 35,000 to hit your goal. You've got more time. If you've got a dog, go out and do an hour walk. If you haven't got a dog, go and do an hour walk anyway. Just get that in your diary, get yourself moving. And trust me, those little sprinkles of movement and extra steps will have a big impact on how you feel, your positivity, and also the benefits you're going to feel to your body as well. Okay. So I've got a bit of a Q&A time for the last kind of 10 to 15 minutes if we need it. If there are no questions, I'm just going to kind of jump back a couple of slides and highlight a couple of bits that make some sense to me. So if there are any questions, guys, just stick them in the comments box and I will see those now and I can answer those live. If you haven't got any questions and you can't think of them right now, you can obviously message me on LinkedIn is probably the best place to find me. And you can ask me any questions you've got around training, around nutrition, around motivation, around how to overcome inertia, around how to find time to fit workouts in, anything that's really specific to, you know, executives and the struggles you're having. I could certainly help you with that as well. Okay, cool. So I've noticed there's a slight delay on what I'm saying and what's actually being shown to you guys. So I'm just going to quickly bring up the QR code as well. So anyone that's missed out the chance to grab that diagnostic call, like I say, we're only a small team. We can't take hundreds of phone calls. You know, there's a couple of spaces on that one. So if you are interested in grabbing a diagnostic call where we're going to find out, A, if we can help you, if we can even help you in the first place. But secondary to that, we're going to make sure that you go away with some real pointers, diagnose your problems and give you real value and show you some pointers on where the best places are for you to improve your health. Okay, guys, so there's no direct questions right now, which is completely fine. Like I say, if you want to grab me, throw some questions at me on DMs or put them on this presentation, this workshop after the event. This is actually going to live on top of my LinkedIn profile now. So I know people skip these things because they're really busy. This will be available now forever. So you can jump in and re-comment on this as well. I'll also be redoing this presentation next week as well. So it's going to be a weekly thing. So if you have missed it, you can jump on the next one. And yeah, I will speak to you really, really soon. Cheers, guys.